Well, you guys have been asking for it, so without further ado, the Music Is Win Studio Tour 2018. So throughout this tour, I'm going to be making references to videos. If I expand on some of the gear, I'm not going to go super in depth because this is already going to be a long video. Links to all the products that are relevant, as well as videos demonstrating or expanding on the gear, that's all in the description if you're interested. This desk is the best studio desk on earth. In fact, I made a video called The Ultimate Home Studio Desk. This desk is made by Zauer. It is an 88XL, that is the model, and it is exactly what I've always wanted in a studio desk. As you can see, there's plenty of room for keyboards and synths and a mic there. I have my studio monitors up top, my computer. Everything is in its right place. A lot of you guys ask about this chair because it does this. So when you're playing guitar, you can actually play while sitting comfortably. I got this chair on Amazon. The link's down below. Now you can have it. As far as these flashy lights are concerned, this is the Arturia Drum Brute. I use this to program cool drum sounds every now and then. This here is an Arturia BeatStep Pro. This is actually something I don't really use that much. This is more of a live sequencer. I don't do much live, but it looks nice, so I have it right here. I have an M-Audio KeyStation 49ES for all of my MIDI programming needs. I use Logic Pro X10 for all my MIDI sounds. And this right here is my interface that I use for going direct, for doing guitar plug-in stuff, microphone, recording, etc. It's the Apollo Twin quad core from Universal Audio. I cannot say enough good things about this. This has been a workhorse, and if any of the online reviews are any indication, you don't have to take my word for it. On either side of my computer, we have the Adam Audio A8X, two studio monitors, the best studio monitors in the world, if I do say so myself. A lot of people will agree with me. For all my podcasting, I use the Rode Procasters, and this little doohickey is also from Rode. I can move all over the place, and it is very nicely secured with that little hub. Now you notice all around the room I have these things on the walls. That is acoustic foam from Auralex. I use Auralex all throughout my studio to deaden the sound. It was all carefully measured and planned. It isn't necessarily random in here, but a general rule of thumb is the more dead room you have, the better listening environment it tends to be. And for somebody who's not a serious producer, it works really well to have a completely neutral environment for mixing. So I've got bass traps in the corners, I've got the foam on the door, I've got it on the walls. It's everywhere. All right, moving over to this situation here. It has certainly grown since the last studio tour. I am a freak about aesthetics. I like to have everything organized and on display if possible, so that's why I have chosen to display all my pedals. I even have little lights underneath that light up the pedals so I can see them and just make it more pleasing for you to watch my videos, have some cool background happening in case what I'm saying isn't that interesting. I've accumulated these pedals from working with brands, doing reviews and features, and I gotta say, I love every single one of these pedals. I'll give a couple shout outs. Walrus Audio makes my favorite artwork, and obviously their pedals sound amazing too, so you can't go wrong with Walrus Audio. Empress Effects makes probably the highest quality pedals I've ever played. every single pedal of theirs is just, and to follow up on that, MXR, Dunlop, they make all the wah pedals that I have, as well as pedals like this, the carbon copy, which every guitar player should own. Man, talk about quality, but also just the sound that you're looking for. I would go for MXR. Dan Electro makes a pedal that actually turns you into Stevie Ray Vaughan, so check out Dan Electro if you're looking for that type of raw energy. TC Electronic, you can put your phone up to your guitar and then it changes the settings in the pedal. That's called tone printing. Yeah, TC Electronic is probably the most advanced pedal builders. Check them out if you're into the tech. Keeley makes a pedal that turns you into Jimi Hendrix. That's pretty good. Phil McKnight showed me the LPD pedal builders, Lawrence Petros design. What can I say about this sound? It just makes whatever sound you had better. Source Audio, this might be the best delay pedal ever created. That's saying something. Never forget the magical tumness from my friends at Wampler. All right, moving along. Over in this corner, we have some books. Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. If you guys have never heard of Tim Ferriss, stop what you're doing and go check out Tim Ferriss. He's changed my life for the better. Moving on to guitars. This is the JP15 Music Man 7-string guitar. Oh man, what to say about this instrument? It's roasted. It's got a roasted neck. And if you don't know what that means, try and find a roasted guitar neck to play. It's just so smooth. It's like, that was one sweep. It has a piezo in it. It has mono and stereo input jacks, and man, this guitar is just insane. I'm normally not a signature guitar guy, but when it's the best guitar player in the world, signature guitar, yeah, you're gonna wanna try that one. All my guitars are hung up by Hercules guitar wall mounts. Right here, we have the PRS Kestral 4-string bass. As you can see, one piece here. This bass is awesome. Before, I'll show you later, I've only had an Epiphone Viola bass. This is a real bass, and I don't mean that in a knock against my Epiphone. I love that bass, but this is just like, if you need a studio bass, this is perfect for that. Right here, my PRS S2 Custom 24 in whale blue. Got this guitar at Island Music Company when I did a clinic there back in 2016, wow. I actually shot my first real viral video at that store, Overplayed Guitar Store Songs, maybe you remember that one. But this guitar was gifted to me by the awesome people from PRS for doing that clinic, and it was also sponsored by Peavey. This is the Peavey Classic 30. It's basically has the vintagey sound and just the real clean sound of maybe a Fender Deluxe, but there's something a little warmer about it. I've owned a Fender Deluxe too. This has a better kind of gain situation happening. It has pre and post as far as the channel goes, so like the preamp and then the post you can push, so you can get multiple different types of crunchiness and breakup. Very versatile, very awesome. Right here we have the Hughes and Kettner Grandmeister. This is an amazing amp, and the reason I haven't reviewed it yet, well, you haven't seen a video yet, maybe depending on when you're watching this, I will have already reviewed it, but there is so much to this amp, and it changed the way that I record music and record my videos, all the audio. Just, if you want the most versatile and best sounding amp on the market, I think this is it. Right here we have the PRS 7, aptly named, I must say. This was my first 7-string guitar. It's got the stock pickups that came with it, and leave it to PRS to just make a 7-string feel like a 6-string. It just plays so perfectly. I thought there would be some sort of adjustment period for somebody who's never really played 7-string, but man, it fits right in your hand, and people who've played 7-string necks will understand what that means. It's just, I feel like I can still do the Hendrix thing with this guitar. Not to mention the sound is just angry. You guys know her, Baby, right here, newly sharpened by my buddy Phil McKnight. Brand new pickups, new bridge, new tone pots, new tuners, no more Gorilla Glue on her. The best guitar I've ever owned, I've talked enough about her. You can go find other videos to really get the sense of what this guitar means to me, but this was kind of like my identity on the internet and still is, so I'm really just, I'm gonna cry. I love her so much. Right here, we have my PRS Custom 50, and this is PRS Custom 24 10 top Floyd Rose. These two babies were the sound of my course Modern Rock Guitar Techniques that PRS sponsored last year around Christmas time, I think is when that came out. It's just the ultimate rock and roll combo right here. This can do metal, this can do classic rock, this can do blues, it can do anything you want in a rock vein. And of course, the whammy gives you that virtuoso capability if you like that stuff. And this amplifier has been my sound. Like most of my videos, I would mic up this amp or reamp some DI stuff to go through it. And I just can't say enough good things about the Custom 50. The cab is a 410 with greenback speakers. Oh, just a heavenly sound. This guitar has the 8515 PRS pickups, which I think might be the best sounding pickups that come in PRS guitars. And well, this guitar made me a better guitar player. There's not a lot of guitars I can say that about. Finally, moving along here, we have Honey, my Fender American Special, and it is in a nice satin finish. I bought this guitar, I walked into a Guitar Center actually to buy strings, and this was hanging up, and I picked it up and played it for 5 minutes and bought it on the spot. This is the only time that's ever happened. So this is probably a very close second to my PRS SC245 baby as far as what this guitar means to me. Again, another guitar that just made me a better guitar player because I loved playing it so much, and I still do. It's got Planet Tone pickups inside, and really that's the only modification I've made. It's 2014, and it's gonna be mine forever. All right, over here in my like spill out room, the extension of my studio, we have the 3 Framus acoustics that I've acquired to this point. I'll put a link in the description for the shootout between these guitars, but apparently you guys like the folk guitar the best. I think I might be giving one of these away. So stay tuned on that. This guitar is my favorite out of the 3. This is the Dreadnought. And not being a primarily acoustic guitar player, I expect my guitars to play with ease, and that's a little bit difficult when you are an electric guitar player moving over to acoustic. This guitar plays like an electric guitar, and I mean that in the best way possible. Here's my Epiphone Viola bass, the first bass I ever had. It served me well, I'll tell you that. It has an extremely distinct sound to it, obviously. I have my Gretsch resonator guitar here, and this was actually another guitar that I played it, and I was like selling pedals back to a Guitar Center, and instead of taking the whatever money, you know, they give you a discount on new stuff, I was like, you know what? I've never owned a resonator. I'm doing that. Plays awesome. Again, all these guitars have links in the description for you to hear more in depth. Moving along here, this is the PRS Alex Lifeson Signature SE. This guitar is completely smooth. If I had to define it in one word, it just plays effortlessly. The fretboard just feels good under your fingers, and it has this cool kind of angelus shape that PRS does, as opposed to the, you know, regular dreadnought shape that you may be used to. Awesome guitar. Over here, a little compliment to the PRS Alex Lifeson. This is the T50. And the T50E, to be precise, this has a little bit different body shape than the Angelus shape, and I actually think it has a little bit more full sound as opposed to the Lifeson, which is a little bit crispier. So again, PRS, the thing that defines that guitar company is versatility to me. So not only do they look great, like all the appointments are shiny and beautiful, but just the things you can do with these guitars, it's just so versatile. So for a person who kind of lives in the studio, PRS guitars are a natural fit for me. Down here we have a Bugera G20. This was actually like one of my first endorsements on YouTube. And man, this is a really underrated amp. A really good value too for the amount of money it costs. Shout out to Bugera, those guys are awesome. Down here we have my mic setup. This is the Rode NT1, a couple more Rode Procasters, and SM57, SM58. I don't do a whole lot of miking, but I do have the essentials. This is actually a $200 guitar from Orangewood that I made sound like a $2,000 guitar, and it holds up. Link in the description for that video. All my pedal boards are along the wall here, and down here at the end we have yet another Orangewood guitar. I believe this one's in the $400 to $500 range. This thing sounds, again, like a $2,000, $3,000 guitar when you play it. Here are my two Danelectro guitars. This is the Danelectro 59 XT with P90 and lipstick pickups. This is the Danelectro 84, which apparently a lot of you guys are fond of after hearing that Stratocaster shootout, linked in the description. Both of these guitars are extremely welcome additions to my arsenal. They have such a different sound than all my other guitars, and the Danelectro brand is just overall underrated. You guys need to check out Danelectro. Steve is the man, and can't say enough good things about them. Paul Reed Smith gave me this $1. There's a link in the description for that video. Right here, all my NAMM badges and just backstage passes for things that I've been to. Eric Johnson event, GitCon, this is all NAMM, some guitar trade shows. It's only the beginning though. I hope this little stack of badges continues to grow for a long time. So that concludes the studio tour, and I have a link in the description for a more extensive overview of the other room. It's actually used to be my podcast studio. I am doing podcasts a little bit differently as far as the format goes now, but that is still serving as a room for other video projects and things of that nature. So check out the link in the description if you want to know about like all the art on the wall and all the CD albums along the sides of the walls. And like I said, videos for all the gear that is relevant that you might want to see. All that stuff is linked down in the description, as well as affiliate links if you want to buy any of this stuff and support my channel. That would be awesome. I just want to say thanks to you guys, because without you, my studio would not be able to grow in the way it has. And I just want to keep giving back to you. So I'm always going to be doing giveaways. I'm always going to be creating content for you guys and working my hardest. And just want to say thank you. I'll see you in the 2019 studio tour. Who knows what will have changed? Until then, keep shredding.